Sasa, uko fiti?
Uko sawa sawa?
Niko sawa sawa, niko fiti, niko shega.
Niko shega, it's like I'm good.
Yeah. So, hey, nimekuhata vinoma sana. Tupatane basi. Endegure, ndagiye kudugura.
Endegure,
yes. Endegure is like, hey friend.
Yeah.
Then coming back to Burundi, I didn't know much Kirundi. Study with kids that don't understand you.
Sure.
And teachers that don't understand. I was bullied in school.
And
this represents more than
that's
20.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. More than 20 African countries. Together with other 700 in Washington DC for a week. It was the best moment.
How do you define success?
I never consider success as a final result, rather than another starting point of doing another thing. Young people, we should know what you want in life and know how to work on what you want in life. Thank you for receiving me here. My name is Amani. I am a Burundian. I'm Mandela Washington Fellow 2024, a GPE youth leader in Burundi. And I'm a founder of Mandela Legal, which is an NGO working much into mental health in schools and the communities. I am a fashion designer and a spoken word artist. That's me.
Can you tell us a little bit about yourself when you're just a little kid? Maybe anything that you did today that you must probably discovered when you're just too young?
Well, I remember that I was born as a refugee girl. And there's a time we found ourselves in a refugee camp in Tanzania. And then, you know, when you used to play with these other kids, we used to call it a makopo. Yes, so where we could be like having a small cane, and then we assume that we are family, we cook, and then we do, you know, other stuff. So from there, I was around 9 years old, is where I discovered that my sense of matching colors or how I put clothes and shoes was a little bit cute. And my mom always asked me, how do you do that? How do you know that this color goes with that color? And how do you select which shoe to put not this one, but you put this one? So I think from there I discovered that I had a talent with designing or fashion. Yeah.
Which is true, because by looking at you, the way you get dressed and the way the straps on the hands and everything, you can see that. Okay, to me that even today you still do that a little bit.
Yeah, sure, I still do that. For example, all the design, not all, but most of the clothes that I wear, they are designed by myself, and then I give to a tailor. Say, I need this kind of design. But also, I'm into crafting, so I design which bracelet I have to make, which necklace I have to make. And also I train people to do so.
Was that easy to come back to Burundi and to do the adjustments, ways of life, culture and everything?
It wasn't easy at all. The fact that I was not born in Burundi, I spent almost my childhood outside the country. Then coming back to Burundi, I didn't know much Kirundi. I didn't know much French, not really French. So I had to learn all those languages, and coming in a system where I had to learn Kirundi and French, and then study with kids that don't understand you.
Sure. And
teachers that don't understand. I was bullied in school when I was in primary school because I couldn't speak Kirundi. And when I speak Swahili, they could tell me that Swahili speaking people, they were considered like those sweet people.
Yeah, sure,
sweet kids.
Yeah. Sure.
Kids with no manners.
Yeah, sure.
Yes. So it was really challenging, but what I loved in all of that, because I had a parent that was super supportive. And I never quit. I said, okay, this is my country. I have to live here. I have to make sure that I succeed. So I push myself. I learned Kirundi. I learned English. Again, I learned French. Then I'm doing pretty good.
What are the languages that Amani speaks?
7 languages.
7 languages?
And I have basic and like 4 or 5 more. I speak Kinyarwanda, I speak Kiha, I speak Lingala, I speak sign language. And I have some basic in Luganda. I know
like the Guancalanyo, is it?
Yeah, Guancalanyo. Omwana Umuganda.
Okay.
Yes, like Webalanyo. Yeah, like Wasuzocha.
What the hell is it?
Wasuzocha is like, how did you get up? How are you in the morning? How are you today? Yeah, Mwasuzemocha. In Nairobi, actually, they don't really speak that Swahili that we know. They speak what we call Sheng. Most of the youth people, they speak Sheng. For example, to say hello, how are you? Or like in Swahili, when you say shikamo, habari zenu, so they don't say that. Say, sasa, uko fiti?
Uko sawa sawa.
Niko sawa sawa, niko fit, niko shega.
Niko shega, it's like I'm good.
Yeah.
Okay.
For example, for female or girls, they say msupa if it's one. Wasupa is there more. So, and for men it's Buddha. Yeah. You can just go, hey Buddha, sasa. Hey msupa, uko fiti. Yeah. For example.
Leo tutatoka out au?
Leo tunaenda out.
Leo tunaenda out. Okay, tunaenda out.
So, for example, if you want to tell a person that you miss them a lot, say, hey, nimekuhata vinoma sana, tupatane basi. Or if you want to say, I love you so much, hey, nakulomba tovo vinoma.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay,
or you want to tell a person that today you didn't have a good day, so you didn't get the money you were looking for, but you want to go for lunch or dinner. Say, hey, leo kumeboweka nimekosa do, lakini sijui leo tunadishi nini, tutadishi wapi kwanza? So it's like, where are we going to eat? What do you want to eat?
Okay.
Yes. First, Mombasa and Zanzibar, they are what we call coast region. So they are Muslim-based regions, and their Swahili is almost similar because there are a lot of Indians, but also Arabs.
Sure.
So their Swahili is not the Swahili of Nairobi or the Swahili of
Tanzania.
Of Ubongo.
Or Ubongo. Yeah. Wabongo.
Yes. So, for example,
they say Ubongo because they use a lot of brain there. Living in Tanzania,
maybe.
They say you have to.
That's why maybe Tanzania is called the brain of Africa.
Sure.
The name the brain of Africa. So maybe. For example, if you are in Zanzibar, people can say like it's all about accent.
The way they speak like Swahili.
Hey, wakina mama. I start loving on myself. I was like, wakina mama, oye!
Hey, okay.
And the Tarab is the most
Tarab, sure. And wearing the kanga, do you know the kanga?
Yes, the kanga.
Yes, sure.
Yes. Mwanamke kanga.
Yeah.
So I love my culture.
The kanga are from Zanzibar.
Yes,
ones, yeah.
Yes, but also
that's art. It's artistic, by the way, making the kanga.
Yeah, but also the kanga is one of the tools to pass the message.
Sure.
For example, if there's a person that you don't like at all,
they write on that kanga.
Yes, and you just wear that, and you pass where the person is, so that they may read what is an Akanga.
That's Zanzibar for sure.
Yes.
And I personally like Kiha. I don't know whether it is because it is spoken most of the time. Those regions not far from Burundi, you see the Kigoma, in Kigoma, in Kasulu, there is a lot of Kiha there. Do you know some of the Kiha that they speak?
I do. For example, if you tell a person that you're going to the market, or how can I say it? It's like ndaduguye.
Ndaduguye.
Yes,
it's like
ngiye kudugura.
Ngiye kudugura. Hapo sasa unaenda kuemea.
Yes. For example,
the way they greet.
Ndagure ndagiye kudugura.
Ndegure
is like, hey friend.
Yeah.
Na marembe.
Okay.
Yeah. Nakavubu.
Nakavubu. A lot of yani also.
Yes. Yani wa mushingana wa mugabo gabo. Ntiyatashe mwijoro. Wa mugabo gabo. Wahoze useka muhari wagababaye. It's like you smiling whereas your neighbor is super. It's not funny though. It's like when you are talking about something and a person just laughs,
you have to.
Whereas it's a hard thing.
Sure. Can you just tell us a little bit about Amani today and in details?
Yeah. Oh, I love that question. It sounds crazy to see how a fashion designer and a spoken word artist end up into mental health issues. So I remember I was in Kenya in yearly regional. I had to spend there 1 month being trained into leadership in civic engagement. And then at that time I was super down emotionally, and I asked my friend, can I have a hug? And that one was like, what's wrong with you, girl?
What's the problem with you, girl?
Are you crazy? A hug for what?
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that one couldn't understand me. But for me, in my family, it's easier to ask my dad, my mom, or my siblings about hugs. And in my family, we talk about anything. So it's pretty easier for me to talk about whatever I feel, either good or bad. So that one was like, girl, slow down. So I couldn't hold my tears. I just cried. And was like, okay, are you serious? So when I came back to Burundi, I was so curious to know how families live here, what the relationships between kids and the parents. And then I discovered that a lot of people, especially youth, they are suffering from the inside.
Sure.
Yeah, they don't talk. It's like talking about mental health in Burundi is still taboo, and not always well received. Is like, I don't want to expose myself, I don't want to expose my problems, whatever. And I forget that is something which is very crucial and very important to talk about. So a lot of people are suffering from anxiety, depression, fear, trauma.
Sure.
And then I thought about creating something. So that when I started Smart Alaliga, the Saliga organization. And then how do I combine my talent in mental health?
Sure.
I work with adolescent girls and young women in schools and in communities. So after the process of healing, I always ask myself, what next? Is it really enough to stop by healing or by counseling? So by that, I train them into crafting. So it's like where I bring my talent to them and empower them to use their talent to be financially sustainable.
That's interesting. You are probably passionate about not only Burundian culture or East African culture, you are passionate about African culture. Can you just tell us a little bit about that?
I am a Pan-Africanist. So I love Africa, I love African culture. What I hear the most is when Africans, we don't treasure what we have, the talent that we have, the culture that we have, the languages that we have. And those have been treasured by Western people. So for me, I think there are a lot to learn about Africa. And as a proud African girl, I felt like I had to learn more about Africa to know how to represent Africa whenever I'm outside Africa.
Sure.
So I love the languages. I love the outfits of African tribes or countries. So it's one of the things that inspired me to go deep into fashion designing. Because what I do is so African-based.
Sure.
Designing. So if you can see my bracelets,
and
this represents more than
that's
20.
Gorgeous. It's gorgeous.
Thank you. More than 20 African countries.
More than?
More than 20 countries.
That's interesting. You're an African. That's the true African here that we have today. We're talking to an African.
Yeah.
Okay.
But also I think if we want to leave good steps to the next generations, we have to build the Africa that they be proud of, the Africa that can be the source of hope to next generations.
That's interesting. And can we know a little bit about Amani outside Burundi?
Back in 2027, I guess. Yes, it's where I started my regional journey with conferences, workshops, trainings, and the competitions. So before that, I was an English volunteer in Burundi Friendly International from 2013 to earlier 2020. So people saw what I was doing, teaching English to people that didn't get any chance to be in school. And then a certain guy, I don't remember, I think I saw him once. I don't know where he got my number from. He just called me. You are Amani. I said, what are you doing? I want to give you an opportunity. I was like, okay. Can I invite you in Rwanda for this youth competition? I was like, oh yeah. So I went there for the first time. And the second time it was in Uganda. No, it was in Tanzania for this East Africa Youth Debate. Yes, and then from there, I kept receiving different opportunities for youth, for leadership. Either I could apply, see an application link and apply for that, or people could recommend me to those conferences or being nominated by a person I don't know. So once there, it's like an opportunity for me not only to learn about what I go for, but also to network with different people. So through networking, I get other connections and other opportunities to move again. Yeah, so I've been in different conferences in Africa, in outside the continent, in the US, for example.
We're going to talk about that.
Yeah.
You talked about the Mandela Fellowship. Can you just tell us a little bit the experience?
Well, I first knew about Mandela Washington Fellowship in 2016. And then I applied for 2 times. I was rejected, but the 3rd time I was selected. So the Mandela Washington Fellowship is a program started by Barack Obama in 2010 as the yearly regional, and then in 2014 as Mandela Washington Fellowship, where they select around 700 young African leaders to go to United States in different institutes to learn about leadership in different tracks like business entrepreneurship, civic engagement, and public management. Then in 2023, I applied and then I got selected. And then this year I went for 7 weeks trainings. I was in Iowa, and then I got trained in business, leadership in business and entrepreneurship. It was really a very nice moment to spend with 24 other young leaders from Africa, and then to be connected to different institutes and different organizations and companies in the United States to get connection, to build partnerships, to learn from them, but also to share our stories. And yeah, it was really good. I really loved it. But also together with other 700 in Washington DC for a week, it was the best moment where I had to showcase my talent, because I got the opportunity to do my spoken words in front of over 1,500 people. So it was really very amazing. I really love that. It's always good to network with other people, to learn from them, but also to share our experience with them. So for me, it was like an added value to the skills that I had before.
And can you just tell us the motivation why you decided to work with them, the choice of that gender?
Working with adolescent girls and young women in Burundi have been my passion since I was in high school, because I strongly believe that female gender is a kind of people that are very smart, very innovative, but also once they are inspired and impacted, they can do great things in the community. And the problem is that they don't recognize the power they have as women. So for me to work with them, it's one of the ways to push them to realize or to awaken their talent, their power inside of them, and work on that. But also is the most vulnerable gender, the gender that is never considered in the society, in the community, especially when they pass through hard time. For example, for those teen mothers, they've been rejected, they don't go to school, though the men that impregnate them, they're still in school, which is not really fair for me. So working with them helped me to push their talent to another level, but also to show them that it is possible. No matter what you pass through, you still have the chance to turn your life around or to change your life through your talent, through your work, through your mind, through your hands.
How do you keep up with what you're doing?
Well, challenges. I love talking about challenges.
Yeah.
The first challenge that I always face, when you are first young, number two, woman, with a lot of dreams and passion.
Aspirations.
Exactly. So some people don't believe in your talent or in your dreams. They always tell you that you are too young for that. When you go to ask for help, or you go, to propose something to bigger people, say, "Oh, how old are you again?" And I always ask them,
"How old is your little girl?"
What is the linkage between my age and my experiences or my dream or what I want to do? So it's like older generation don't believe in a younger generation in terms of decision making or contributing to the community development. So this is one of the challenges I always face. People asking me my age, my background before, help out or before supporting me in anything. And how I overcome them, first with the appearance. I always put in my mind that no one will stop my dream and no one will stop my passion. And whenever I go for help or for support, I go with two minds. Either I'll be accepted, and if I'm accepted, hallelujah, I give glory to God. And if I'm rejected, it's a lesson for me. At least I tried. So I'm okay with that. I go, I know, to the next door. Yeah, with the resources, it's still challenging, yes, but I always knock everywhere. And whoever feels that want to support in one way or another with resources, with the skills, with opportunities, they do that.
Dear Amani, how do you define success?
Success. What is success for Amani? First, my goal is to give hope to hopeless and make sure that I change at least one life. So if a day I make sure that person smiles, a person get back the hope and start implementing his dream, that's my success. So I never consider success as a final result, rather than another starting point of doing another thing. So it's like I succeed every day, and I strive to succeed every day. So it's like every day, if today I do this and I reach to my goal, that's a success, and then I want to redo it tomorrow. After tomorrow, I will die succeeding. So I never consider that as a final result.
You remember those years when you were 8, 10, 12, 13?
Yeah.
How would you start over again? Maybe probably your life. Is there anything that you probably regret? I would have just have done this way, and if I were to start over again, probably the mistakes that you probably made in the past, would you be choosing what you're doing today, or there are maybe the adjustments or anything, or any other path that you would like to take different other than the one you have taken today?
Well, if I go back in my childhood or teenagerhood, what I regret was letting people undermine my talents, or not being confident enough to start doing what I'm doing today. I wish I could start earlier. So to tell people that it's not too late to start what you want to start, but also it's not too early to do not start. To me, that if I can correct something in my past, I wish I could start when I was 10, 15, or 18 years old to do what I'm doing today. Maybe I could be, I could have touched a lot of lives, but it's not too late. I'm doing that, and I'm glad that I'm following a path that is the way, is my calling actually. That's
good. Suppose that I'm a little girl or just a young person watching this, and they say, they come to you and they tell you, Amani, I would like to be like you, and I would like to, to be successful as you are. What would you like to tell them, to that person?
Well, the problem of young people, we tend to, or we desire to be like these people, these great people, but we never think about the challenge they face. Are we ready to face the challenges they faced? So we just need easy things.
Sure.
But also, we can never be the person we want to be. I mean, we can never be this person we looking for, but we can be our own version of ourselves by looking up to other people. So for me, what I can advise them is to always follow their dreams.
Sure.
To always start, either you have support or not. The parents that I have, the family that I have, they are super supportive. They are the kind of parents that always understand me and always make me sit down and listen to me, ask me questions, so that they may understand what I want to do and direct me to the right path. So for me, I can advise them to have mentors, if possible, or like have a person that can, direct their
dreams, their aspirations.
Because when we are young, we have a lot of things.
Sure.
I want to do this, I want to do this, I want to do this, no, I want to do this, But you cannot do everything at the same time. So, with what to start? Why do you want to start this at this particular moment with these particular people? So, it's really hard to have a clear mind on what to do if you don't have this backup person. I know in Burundi we still struggle with mentorship, but it's something that I would encourage a lot of young people to look for, but also to our elders to look down and support us. In African culture, they say that it takes a village to raise a kid. For me, it took me a bunch of people, of mentors, for me to be at the level that I am today. And still need people to move on. So there are some people that could be telling me things that my parents couldn't. There are people that couldn't tell me what my parents used to tell me or always tell me. So, for example, for me, when I'm home, we talk about everything. About my spiritual life, my financial life,
relationships,
my relationship life. But do you think that in Burundian culture, Burundian families, how many parents can talk with their
children
kids about relationships?
Few, probably few.
Very few. But for me, I remember the first time that my dad asked me about my boyfriend was like, okay, do you have any boyfriend? It's like, Dad, I know, I don't. So no, it's all fine. If you have one, just bring him here. I want to see him. I want to hang with him. I want to talk to him. And then there's a time.
And I probably can help you, maybe give you the idea what I think about him.
Exactly. There's a time I was with my friend in the road, and then I was greeting him, and then my dad just passed. Was like,
is he the one?
No, he just said, young man, you haven't yet give me money for that. I was like, what the hell is this? And then my friend was like, what is that man saying? And I said, that's my dad. That's mess up with me. He's gonna mess up with you. Don't worry about that girl. So I think it's really very important to raise those kind of topics.
Yeah, because it's a reality. It's a reality.
That's reality first. And you have to know that when we are growing at a certain age, that's nature. That's biology. We feel. As we are ladies, we feel attracted most to men, and men feel attracted most to women. So if we don't talk about that in family, we are going to look for other truth outside our families, and the truth outside it may not be good. You know, it's where young people start, doing rubbish, and they come to regret the consequences of the decision they made. All the choices they made before. So, like talking about sexual health is really important in families. And then you go home, you are so welcomed by parents, maybe by kids, by siblings, and you talk, you have fun, you joke on relationships. How is your girlfriend? How is your boyfriend? How is your fiance? Or that's kinda cool, but also it touched our mental health. We found the joy that we could have found elsewhere.
Or what are the things that you spend most of your time on?
Well, the most thing that I spend my time on, creativity.
Creativity?
Yes.
Okay.
Because I always felt that God put a lot of potential in me, and I want to die empty. I want to die by maximizing all the potential that God put. Out. Exactly. To leave everything to the world, to leave everything for other people. So most of my time I spend it, if I'm not working with women, or if I'm not crafting, or if I'm not with my family. Most of the time I'm on my phone. On my phone.
Doing what there?
Researches.
Doing research.
research is see conferences. What are the conferences that can interest me the most?
Sure.
Gaining some skills from internet.
The scholarships probably.
Or the grants.
The grants, yeah, sure.
Or see how international market is and how can integrate the international market.
Learning.
Or the kind of products I'm looking for, where can I find them, at which price, how can I get them from those countries to Burundi. How can it be very innovative, seeing documentaries of other people that have been passing through what I'm passing and how they overcome them, see these influences, these big people in the world. How do they do things? What is their lives exactly? How are they being so inspiring? And how I can cope with my current situation in my community and be the kind of hope that people are looking for. Young people, we should know what you want in life. And know how to work on what you want in life.
It has been a pleasure to talk to somebody like you with a lot of cultures who probably learned a lot about Africa, languages, Bantu languages and everything. It has been a pleasure.
Yeah,
right?
Thank you so much.